So this is the second day uh, of the 5-day workshop. Okay, the first session. So fifth session overall. So today I'm going to define two basic signals, right? And in terms of a discrete case, so two important sequences. So which are called the unit impulse as well as unit step. Okay, unit step sequence in case of a discrete time signals, and unit impulse signal function in terms of a continuous time case. Okay, so why are these important? So we'll know shortly, right? Now, uh, so a unit impulse sequence in a discrete time case is defined as follows. Okay, so it's sometimes called as unit sample function. Okay, both mean the same. So there is only one sample, hence it is called as a unit sample sequence. Okay, or unit impulse sequence is equally acceptable, right? So the definition is as follows. The symbol used is delta, right? So delta n is equal to 1 for index n equal to 0, and it is 0 for all the other values of n. Okay, right? So this sometimes the discrete time sequences are written with this shorthand notation, right? So these are the values at different values of n. These are the values of the signal at different indexes. Okay, so on and so forth. So here an arrow is placed. Okay, just to know that, so this is the value wherever the arrow is, this is the value of the function at n equal to 0, right? So both the notations are used, okay, depending on the context or ease of writing, etc., right? So both mean the same thing. Okay, so this is the value of the function at n equal to 0, and this is at n equal to 1, n equal to 2, so on and so forth on the right hand side of that n equal to 0, and this is at the value of function at n equal to -1, -2, -3, so on and so forth on the left side of n equal to 0. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, why is this sequence important? So we'll know. Okay, so I'm going to take a general sequence whose values are as follows. So I'm going to take smaller values so that it's easier to draw that function. So it has 0, right? So I'm just writing some random values. Okay, so and let me take this value as n equal to 0. Okay, so this is the value of the function. X of 0 is equal to 2, x of 1 is equal to 4, x of 2 is equal to 3.8, x of 4 is equal to 1.23, and similarly x of 3 is equal to 1.23, x of 4 equal to 0, x of 5 equal to 0, and it's 0 for all the other values, right, on the right after x of 4. Okay, now similarly, if I look to the left side of n equal to 0, so x of -1 is 1, x of -2 is 3.4, x of -3 is -2.3, okay, and x of -4 is 0, x of -5 is 0, so on and so forth. Okay, so if I plot this signal, so how does it look like? So this looks like, so I have an axis with the value n. Okay, so my n equal to 0 is 2. Okay, right? So discrete time sequence, sorry, I forgot one thing. So I'll just draw it here, right? I'm not going to erase it again and right. Okay, so at n equal to 0, the value of the function is 1. Okay, and it's 0 elsewhere, right? So these are the values for n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to -1, minus 2, so on and so forth on the either sides. Okay, so discrete time sequences. Okay, so discrete time sequences are nothing but just a sequence of numbers. Okay, so discrete time sequences are represented like this with the dot on top, and the value of the function at the corresponding index is written here. Okay, fine. So similarly, if I use that notation to draw, right, at n equal to 0, my function has a value of 2. Okay, at n equal to plus 1, okay, the value of function is 4, which is double the size. Okay, right. So next, at n equal to 2, it is 3.8. Okay, and at n equal to 3, it is 1.23, and it is 0 for n equal to 4. This is n equal to 3, n equal to 2, and it is 0 for n equal to 5, so on and so forth. It is 0 for all the other values. Okay, and similarly, if I move to the left of n equal to 0, at n equal to minus 1, my function has a value of plus 1. Okay, at n equal to minus 2, my function has a value of 3.4. 3.4 comes somewhere here. Okay, so it is 3.4. At n equal to minus 3, it is minus 2.3. Okay, right here, so on and so forth. This is my x of n. Okay, and it is 0 for n equal to minus 4, n equal to minus 5, so on and so forth on the left side. Okay, now why is that unit impulse sequence or unit sample sequence so important? It is because this sequence, a general sequence, I have taken some random sequence. Okay, so this general sequence can be expressed as a sum of or superposition of time shifted impulses. Okay, time shifted unit sample sequence. Okay, now how? So we'll see. Okay, so this sequence x of n will be equal to, right, so I'll start with n equal to 0. Okay, so if I take delta n and multiply it by 2, okay, so 2 times delta n, how does it look like? It looks like this. Okay, the value of the amplitude will be equal to 2, and this is n equal to 0, minus 1, plus 1, 2, so on and so forth. Okay, it is 0 elsewhere. Okay, and it exists only at n equal to 0 whenever the term inside the bracket is 0, right? So this is called as an argument. So whenever this is 0, the value will be equal to 1, right? And whenever this n is something else, n is not equal to 0 basically, right? So the value of the function will be equal to 0. So that is what I have drawn. Okay, so this is 2 times delta n, hence the value of the amplitude is multiplied by 2, so the value of the amplitude is plus 2. Okay, okay, next to this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another sequence, a time shifted sequence, okay, which is four times delta n minus 1. Okay, now this is 0, so 4 times delta n minus 1, so this delta n minus 1 has a value of 1 when n minus 1 is equal to 0, right? So the term inside the bracket is n minus 1, so when n minus 1 is equal to 0, the value of the function will be equal to 1. It is multiplied by 4, so the amplitude becomes 4, and it exists at n equal to 1 because the argument goes to 0 at n equal to 1. Okay, so have a sequence of the unit sample sequence of value 4. Okay, and it's 0 everywhere else. Okay, at 2, at 3, at minus 1, at minus 2, right? Okay, now similarly to this, so I'm going to add 1 on the left, right, at -1. So this will be -1 times delta n plus 1. Okay, so now this delta n plus 1 exists at n equal to -1 because n plus 1 equal to 0, that is when the function exists. So n plus 1 equal to 0 means n equal to -1. Okay, so if I draw this, so I have a -1, I have a 0 here. Okay, this is +1 where it is 0, and at +2 it is 0, n equal to, at n equal to +3 it is 0, at n equal to -1 it is minus, oh sorry, it's, I think it's +1. Okay, sorry, +1. Okay, at n equal to -1 it is +1. Okay, at n equal to -2 it is 0, so on and so forth. At n equal to -3 also it is 0, and for all the other values of n it is 0. Okay, now if I add these three signals, what do I get? At n equal to 0 I get 2 plus 0 plus 0, which is equal to 2. At n equal to 1, what do I get? At n equal to 1 it is 0 plus 4 plus 0. Okay, so which is 4, so on and so forth. You can draw the other sequences, okay, as such. So just an extension, so I'm not going to draw all the 7 to 8 sample values here, right? So you get the basic idea here. Now at n equal to -1, if I add, it is 0 plus 0 plus 1. Okay, so it will be 1 times delta n plus 1. So if I want to write x of n, so this can be written as, so it's 0 anyway. Okay, so it's -2.3 times delta n plus 3. Okay, so this is the value at n equal to -3, right, plus 3.4 into delta n plus 2. Okay, you can draw these sequences and you can see that this sequence has zeros everywhere except at n equal to -3. This sequence has zeros everywhere except at n equal to -2, and the amplitude gets multiplied by 3.4. This amplitude gets multiplied by -2.3, so on and so forth. Okay, now similarly, at n equal to -1 it is +1 into delta n plus 1 plus 2 into delta n plus 4 into delta n minus 1 plus 3.8 into delta n minus 2 plus 1.23 into delta n minus 3 plus 0 times delta n minus 4 plus 0 times delta n minus 5, so on and so forth. And similarly, you have the 0 terms on the left hand side here, okay, which I have left space. Okay, now what did I do? I expressed the general sequence as a linear combination of time shifted impulses. Okay, right? So now what is this value of -2.3? Is this not x of -3? Okay, is this not x of -2? This one is x of -1, this is x of 0, this is x of 1, this is x of 2, okay, and this is x of 3, right, so on and so forth. If you had other non-zero values, you can add them at the corresponding places. Okay, now this x of n, right, so what are these values? X of -3 is a constant, x of -2 is a constant, x of -1 is a constant. They are just numbers, okay, and I'm multiplying the sequences by the appropriate number. Okay, basically I am amplifying by the corresponding factors. Okay, here if we look at the first term, I have a sequence delta, I have a sequence delta n plus 3, and I have amplified it by the factor -2.3, right? I have a sequence delta n plus 2 and I have amplified it by 3.4 and I have superposed both the sequences, right? So basically what I am doing is I am taking a general sequence x of n, right, and I am expressing it as a linear combination of the time shifted impulses. Okay, so if you go on substituting the values of k, here the k is called as a running variable or a dummy variable. Okay, right? So if you want to find out the value of x of 2, for example, you substitute n equal to 2, you add up all the terms, right? So the only term that exists will be at n minus 2 minus k is equal to 0. So which means at k equal to 2, that term will be non-zero, all the other terms will go to 0. Okay, so when you add them up, so 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus x of 2 into delta 2 minus k, right? So that is when k equal to 2, so it will become delta of 0, right? So you substitute and find it out. Okay, so this is what you get. So what I did was I took a general sequence with random values and I expressed it as a linear combination so linear combination is nothing but multiplying by a scalar and adding of the signals. Okay, linear combination of what? Of time shifted impulses. Okay, so why is this important? We'll see shortly in the next sessions. Okay, so I'll stop here and we'll continue in the next session.